The new media bias thing came out. Is this for real? The first time I'm actually mentioned on the media bias chart, they put me below. I'm under Joe Rogan. Like, I am the equivalent of...
Do you agree with the chart?
Like, this has got to be a fucking DGG guy who wrote this list, I assume.
DGG is
like,
everywhere. Oh no. Israel's gonna like accidentally bomb some civilians again, and Hasan's gonna be like, oh my god, it must have been a DGG drone operator. Like, I wonder how much profit the Daily Wire is making right now. Sage does seem kind of reasonable. Adam seems insane. Is that impression correct, or... What is this?
Apparently Joe Rogan is more reliable than you.
Oh no. Why is he looking like the deep? What's going on here? I'm sorry, actually.
What is this? Hold on. The new media bias thing came out. Is this for real? Wait, what? There's no way, dude. There is no f***ing way. Contains misleading info.
Ooh, uh-oh.
You want to know something that Donnie told me? Donnie f***ing reached out to the Pointer Institute guy who called me a misinformer on the New York Times. Okay, I think this list is from them. The first time I'm actually mentioned on the...
Wait, did he reach out to the New York Times? And remember that article we read where they said that like some people do... I don't remember the article, but it was something about some people are just as bad about spreading misinformation, and then I think they listed Hasan Piker as an example. Small businesses are a little different, but they also need to suck the customer's dick in a different way. Small businesses can be really good or really bad. That is true. But the problem with small businesses, you know how Reddit is always like, HR isn't there for the employees. HR is just there for the company, to protect the company. That's all HR is for, okay? HR is only there to protect the company. Don't ever go to HR. Bullshit. If you're not fucking up and somebody else is fucking up, you go to HR. You know why? Because the company's interests and your interests are largely aligned. When the company makes money and does well, hopefully you're making money and doing well, generally speaking, as a general manner. Now, when company interest and your interests diverge, HR will fuck you, of course. But as long as you're in the right and you're doing proper procedural things or whatever, like if your manager's fucking up or some crazy shit's happening, you go to HR. If it's gonna fuck with the company, HR is gonna fuck the other person, because HR is only there to protect the interests of the company, but generally your interests are gonna align, okay? Generally speaking, as long as you're not doing dumb shit, okay? Or base shit, okay? But that doesn't mean that working at a company with no HR or working at a company where HR has the same last name as the fucking owner is any better, okay? Fuck that. Small businesses too. Middle class, small businesses, employees and employers, and fuck you. Fuck everybody, okay?
He fucking reached out to the Pointer Institute guy who called me a misinformer on the New York Times. Okay, I think this list is from them. The first time I'm actually mentioned on the media bias chart, they put me below selective, incomplete, unfair persuasion, propaganda, or other issues. Okay.
Oh no.
And on the right, I'm under Joe Rogan. Like Joe Rogan, Red Scare Podcast, Ben Shapiro, The Ingram Angle, Project Veritas. Project Veritas.
Oh no.
I am the equivalent of...
Do you agree with the chart? These charts are dumb. Different people are prone to different things. And it just depends on the type of story you're reading. Like, for instance, the New York Post is up here with like kind of reliable, I think. The New York Post, as far as I'm aware, when it comes to like tabloidy stuff, it's generally pretty good, I think. I don't know if the New York, but when it comes to like more politically oriented stuff, it can be like full on 100% misinformation. It just depends, right? It really depends on what things are reporting on, right? Like the Sun, like when it comes to tabloid stuff, reporting on tabloid stuff can generally be okay. Like TMZ is listed here as like generally favorable, but when you're talking about like celebrity deaths and shit, TMZ is one of the most reliable reporters I think in the world. They get, for some reason, they know like 10 seconds before a person dies, okay, when they do, and TMZ is posting. It just depends on, like what exactly you're talking about. Yeah. Also, this chart also is pretty conveniently skewing in that, like, wow, when you're a centrist with no bias, you tend to be the most factual. Is that really how it goes? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Of InfoWars. Like, this has got to be a fucking DGG guy who wrote this list, I assume. to just be
DGG is
like,
everywhere.
he's
Oh no.
Oh, you're getting food? Wait, can you get me food too? Can you bring some?
Israel's gonna like accidentally bomb some civilians again, and Hasan's gonna be like, "Oh my god, it must have been a DGG drone operator."
Back for me? Please. Please, some fucking Pepsi Zeros and waters and food, please. I'm dying. I'm suffering. I'm starving.
Do you think they grade him lower because they expect better from him? Like, your thoughts on handling Democrats? My guess is honestly going to be that they're just not very familiar with his content, and he's very far left, so they just stick him down here because this graph will probably put every far right person on the very bottom and every far left person on the very bottom, and lay epic center-leaning people that tend to be more factually correct. That's what it seems like. Like, would we say that CNN is just barely left of center? CNN, like, all of their punditry and everything is pretty solidly left. The idea that CNN is like right here, like almost at the center of the bias chart or only one deviation off, I don't think that. This feels like it was put together. Oh, that's CNN Web, I guess. CNN versus CNN TV is a bit further left, I guess. I don't know. Also, are we talking, does CNN, the website, does that include all the op-eds or is that just the reporting, right? Like these graphs are just very simplistic. I don't know.
Dog, I'm lower than Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, and all of the, like, National Review, Newsmax, OAN. I'm lower than OAN.
That's pretty wild.
What the Bro, they're so crazy. Breitbart is here? New York Post?
Like, why is Pew Research on here at all? Doesn't Pew Research just do polling? Do they write? Or do they do like original reporting or writing articles or have pundits? It's just like like, I don't know. It just seems. Yes, they write. Do they? Like, you aren't there write-ups just like basically summary findings of their polling? Oh no, they do have reporting. I've never seen a Pew Research article about. Well, wait, actually. Oh, they're just, yeah, it's basically blurbs about the reporting. I don't know. It just feels weird to, I don't know. Any like quick chart like that is. Why is Destiny acting like Hasan isn't a huge misinformation? What are you talking about? Of course he is. When have I said anything otherwise? Of course. I'm just saying that those types of charts are usually a little bit too.
And Breitbart are he? Okay, this.
Exactly are the policies that Kamala Harris are going to. What is her administration going to push? Well, we now know. Apparently, Semaphore is reporting that she has endorsed the tax policies that were put forward in the last budget proposal by Joe Biden. What are those tax policies? Those tax policies include a 28% corporate tax. Understand that's insane. Every tax on a corporation ends up being passed down to its employees. If you tax the corporation, the Daily Wire, at 28%, that means our profit margin largely disappears. That means we have to fire people or we have to pay people less. It's that simple. Or we have to increase our prices in order to make up for the amount of tax that we're now paying to the federal government. Corporate taxes are double taxation because you're taxing income, you're taxing wages, you're taxing pretty much everything, and then you're taxing corporations at the top level as well.
Do corporate taxes apply to all corporate revenue or only to corporate profit? It only applies to corporate profit, right? Now, you would probably have to raise prices a little bit to see a higher profit if there's like a certain margin you want. But I mean, like, does it cut into everything else?
So 28% corporate.
It would really, like, I wonder how much profit the Daily Wire is making right now versus reinvestment. I'm sure it's probably making a lot of profit, to be fair, but.
Taxes are double taxation because you're taxing income, you're taxing wages, you're taxing pretty much everything, and then you're taxing corporations at the top level as well. So 28% corporate tax. They also want a 44.6% capital gains tax, which is psychotic. That is, you sell a stock and half the money immediately goes to the federal government. Now, here's the most psychotic thing that they want, according to, again,
44.6% capital gains on what? That's probably capital gains past a certain amount. However, is that for long term or short term? This is going to be bracketed off. There's already two. Do we have two brackets for capital gains? Capital gains taxes. Is it 3 brackets? 0, 15, and 20. Bro, capital gains is. Oh, that was on 100 million plus? Okay, yeah.
Again, budget proposal put forward by Joe Biden and now endorsed by Kamala Harris. A 25% tax on unrealized capital gains. That's insane. Let me explain what that means. An unrealized gain.
Wait, hold on.
Kamala Harris. A 25% tax on unrealized capital gains. That's insane. Let me explain what that means. An unrealized gains corporate tax or capital gains tax.
You can't tax on. Yeah, this was also bracketed off past a certain income amount, but he's not going to bring any of that up, I guess. But
what that means is that if you have a house and your house has accrued in value since the time you bought it, let's say you bought it last year, it was 500 grand, now it's 600 grand. The federal government wishes to tax you $25,000 for the increase in the value of your property, even though you haven't sold it. That's what it means.
Would the unrealized capital gains apply to your like assets like your house too, or do they only want to apply this to stock? Or I don't know where they wanted to apply this to. When you sell a home for a profit on your taxes, is that counted as a capital gain? I imagine it probably would be, right? I wonder if you're a single residential home buyer, if it's different. If I sell my house for a profit, is that capital gains tax? It is. Okay. So your primary is to be exempt from capital gains tax on the first $250K if you're single and $500K if married jointly.
If you're a business, you're a private business, and let's say that you're privately held, you've never gone to market, you've never sold your actual stake in the company. So let's say that you own a company, and you started it, say, 10 years ago, and now that company is worth $1 billion, but it's never actually been sold for $1 billion. It's quote-unquote worth $1 billion. Now, let's be realistic about this. Daily Wire, we're a privately held company.
God, I love that idea from the scammer dude, that the only time you would be forced to step the tax basis up would be if you take out a loan against it. That's such a good idea. Because one of the biggest issues, in my opinion, of trying to tax an unrealized gain, especially in a private business, is, and this also applies to wealth taxes on assets too, who the fuck is going to do the valuation? Like, let's say, for instance, you wanted to tax me on Destiny.gg LLC on any unrealized gain I have in the stake of my company. How are you going to evaluate my company? What metrics are you using, right? But if you do it at the point where you're getting a loan, oh, cool. Well, there's other people that are doing the valuation. Obviously, if you want to loan me money against the value of it, a bank or somebody's involved in that valuation. Or if you go to sell it, so there's a buyer, right? So in the case of selling a house, there's a valuation, right? What's it worth? Well, this guy literally wants to pay me $500,000 for it. It's capitalism. It's worth what somebody will buy it for. God, that's such a good idea. That forced step up in basis there.
That means that we have not gone to market. We're not publicly traded, nothing like that. We can't even borrow against our stock because we're a privately held corporation, and the actual material assets of the company are not borrowable.
Wait, Destiny, what made you call Ackman the scammer dude? I don't know. Everybody in that subreddit was saying this guy's a piece of shit scammer. So I just wanted to hedge there. I don't know if he's a crazy dude or not, but that idea was really good.
Daily Wire, we're a privately held company. That means that we have not gone to market. We're not publicly traded, nothing like that. We can't even borrow against our stock because we're a privately held corporation, and the actual material assets of the company are not borrowable. You can't borrow against those material assets of the company in the same way. There's nothing to actually seize, for example. There's nothing to foreclose upon because we don't actually own a giant physical property, for example. Okay, but let's say that we're $1 billion company for the sake of argument. We're more than that, but let's say we're $1 billion company for the sake of argument. Okay, if we're $1 billion company, that means the federal government.
You don't think you could put any of the equity that you have in the Daily Wire up as collateral for a loan? I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. I don't know what it's like taking loans like this. I've never tried it before. But supposedly, if you've got certain investment accounts, you can do it. I would be surprised if that was the case. So they couldn't loan out anything in exchange for equity in a private company. I have no idea. I'm not sure. This is high-level finance shit. I'm not sure.
We're more than that, but let's say we're $1 billion company for the sake of argument. Okay, if we're $1 billion company, that means the federal government would come in and levy a tax on us for not selling the company of $250 million. The annual gross revenue of our company last year was $220 million. Okay, that's crazy. It bankrupts half the companies in existence. It's insane. It's patently crazy.
Fuck. He's not an idiot, right? So the tax would be on the individuals that own the equity. It wouldn't be a $250 million tax. He's not talking about the corporate tax right now. He's talking about the capital gains tax. This wouldn't be applied to the company. It would be applied to the individuals that own equity in the company, which I agree would still be bad, but that's a lot different than applying it towards the Daily Wire as an entity. But
gross revenue of our company last year was $220 million. Okay, that's crazy. It bankrupts.
We also don't know how we would also do the valuation for that company too, right? I don't know what the standard valuation is. It's some multiplicative of like revenue and assets of some other bullshit. But
half the companies in existence. It's insane. It's patently crazy.
I do agree though that taxing unrealized gains is insane. But that's also why I'm not worried about it, because it's such a stupid fucking idea. This never survives any committee. This never survives anything in Congress. Nobody okays that piece of legislation. Nobody. The United States, maybe for like over like $10 billion or some crazy like yearly cap or whatever. Like if you make over $1 billion a year of capital, whatever bullshit, maybe, but there's no shot that this ever gets passed. It's such the problem isn't even that it's a dumb idea. It's that it's literally unworkable. You're going to tell me that the IRS that's already criminally understaffed is going to go out here and try to run valuations on every private company in the United States for taxing unrealized gains based on equity? Like this is never happening. Even if it did happen, I wouldn't be worried about it because it would would be like, we've passed this law, and you'd be getting a letter every single year from the IRS saying, this is going to go into effect 5 years from now. This is going to go into effect in 2 more years and 3 more years. We're about to go into effect in 5 years. Right? It's like fucking real. Do they even have real ID yet? I feel like I've seen signs at the airport for like a decade now saying, careful, you're going to need a real ID in 1 year. Real ID is going to be a requirement. Have they even done the real ID shit yet? Is it finally passed? Because my God, I feel like every single year I see, is it 2025? Is it? It's here and there. May 2025. Okay, I feel like I've seen the signs up for like 10 years saying like, you're going to need a real ID next year to travel. And I don't know, like, Jesus.
Hey, why? Why are these people making these policies? The answer is that they are making these policies because
The good faith answer, the reason why people are making these policies is because it feels bad that some people are able to avoid ever paying income taxes when they're able to get around ever having to cash out or realize gains when they can realize those gains through other clever mechanisms, like taking loans out against the value of an unrealized gain. That feels kind of shitty. What's he going to say? Let's see. They hate wealth. They hate success. They hate businesses. Or they want to own your life. One of those four?
the answer is that they are making these policies because they have no actual relationship to the real world economy in which human beings live. They have never created a job. They have never innovated. They've never built a business. They've never done a damned thing outside of take taxpayer money to boss people around. That is all they do, all day long. That is true at every level
Kind of like number 4.
of the top echelon of the Democratic Party. Barack Obama has never held a real job, ever, his entire life. He was a community organizer, and then he went directly into taxpayer-funded politics. None of those things are real jobs. Michelle Obama worked at a private law firm for 5 minutes, then she got a cush gig at the University of Chicago because her husband was in politics, and now she gallivants around being famous, wealthy, and well-loved because her husband was president of the United States. Chuck Schumer has been in politics since 1862. He has never held a job in the private sphere. Nancy Pelosi's husband was very rich, but she has never run a business. She has been in politics since before Socrates was killed. They kept telling you the economy was...
I mean, like, it's kind of true. I think that if you haven't run a business, you have a bad perspective on these things. But also, the people that do run businesses give bad perspectives on these, and they lie to you as well. You should know that. Anytime a Republican talks about anything relating to trickle down, they're lying to you. If you give a tax cut to a business, they're never using that money to hire somebody else. That's never happening, ever. Because money that they reinvest in the business isn't taxed anyway. That's not influencing. When you give tax cuts to certain types of things, you're just giving it's just bigger profits for them that they collect. They're not going to you hire an employee when you want to do more business. That's it. You hire an employee when the demand is such that the current employees you have can't keep up with business. Giving more money back to business owners doesn't make them magically hire more people. It's fucking retarded. But every Republican small business owner will feed you this bullshit. It's not true.
booming, everything was fine, and now they're telling you, whoopsie doodle, here is the thing. Anyone with a basic understanding of economics can see that the economy is not in amazing shape right now. I've been telling you for years to diversify your portfolio with precious metals. If you'd listened to me before, you'd be in better shape now. So now might be a good time to consider diversification with my friends over at Birch Gold. Birch Gold makes it easy to convert your IRA or 401k into a precious metals IRA. It's a smart way to protect your hard-earned savings from the impending economic disaster. But hey, if protecting your financial future isn't enough motivation, how about this fun thing? Backed by popular demand, now through the end of the month, you can get your very own 24-karat gold-plated Truth Bomb on qualifying purchases. It's a little reminder of the Truth Bombs we hear
the Truth Bomb,
and it's the smart decision you made to invest in gold. Here's what you need to do. Text Ben to 989898. You'll get a free info kit and learn how you can own gold in a tax-sheltered IRA account. Let's all put our financial parachutes on before the economy takes a nosedive. Do not wait for the crash to hit. Text Ben to 989898 right now. Claim your eligibility. Qualifying purchases made before August 31st can get a golden Truth Bomb to serve as a reminder of the great decision you made to protect your savings with gold. That's Ben to 989898. None of these people have ever created a damned thing. Ever, none. And when they say government creates jobs, I want to go back to a clip that we played yesterday. It's a clip of Kamala Harris, the only question she's been asked on the campaign trail. And by the way, we are now at, let's count them. Yep, we got to update it. Day 32 of no serious interviews for the Democratic presidential nominee. 0 interviews, 0 serious questions. But the one question that she was kind of asked about how she would pay for her policies. Like, this is a thing that typically if you're in business, you have to answer. How do you pay for the thing you want to do? You have to go borrow. That creates significant tailwinds. You have to go borrow. That means that you have significant drag on your company, for example. Or maybe you have to do it out of cash flow, which means that you have to triage, decide where the cash goes and where it doesn't go. That's how you would deal with an additional cost if you ran a business. Kamala Harris never pay for the thing you want asked about how she would pay for her policies. Like, this is a thing that typically if you're in business, you have to answer. How do you pay for the thing you want to do? You have to go borrow. That creates significant tailwinds. You have to go borrow. That means that you have significant drag on your company, for example. Or maybe you have to do it out of cash flow, which means that you have to triage, decide where the cash goes and where it doesn't go. That's how you would deal with an additional cost if you ran a business. Kamala Harris never run a business. She's never run a popsicle stand. Kamala Harris has been on the taxpayer dole.
I'm being really pedantic, but the idea that debt creates a significant drag on your company, the whole point of acquiring debt is because it won't create significant drag. The whole point of acquiring debt is that you know that the money is better spent now than just not taking out the loan and like accumulating money into the future, whatever. That's the whole point in analyzing when you take out debt to make investments in your business. I mean, it drags a little bit. I mean, you have to pay it back, and there's usually going to be interest attached. But ideally, if you're taking out debt for your company, it's because you can deploy that money immediately in a more beneficial way than waiting for the future cash flow or whatever, right? Like,
Since she
but I'm being really pedantic, but
left law school. And half of those taxpayer-funded jobs were created specifically for her because she was sleeping with Willie Brown in her early career. That's just a reality. It's not sexist. It's just reality.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Those were her life decisions, not mine. So I get to talk about them since she's the one who wants to be president of the United States. That's the way this works.
Okay.
It's not sexist. It's reality. Willie Brown himself has said so. She, of course, obscures it. That happens to be the case. Okay, so I'm going to play a clip from yesterday. Here is a clip in which she explains how she's going to pay for these proposals.
You unveiled your some economic policies last week. Yeah. Can you explain how you're going to pay for those? And can you give us a sense of what other policies you want to unveil going forward?
Sure. Well, I mean, you just look at it in terms of what we are talking about, for example, around children and the child tax credit and extending the EITC. It's at $6,000 for the first year of a child's life. The return on that investment in terms of what that will do and what it will pay for will be tremendous. We've seen it when we did it in the first year of our administration. We reduced child poverty by over 50%. So that's a lot of the work. And then what we're doing in terms of the tax credits, we know that there's a great return on that investment. When we increase home ownership in America, what that means in terms of increasing the tax base, not to mention property tax base, what that does to fund schools, again, return on investment. I think it's a mistake for any person who talks about public policy to not critically evaluate how you measure the return on investment.
That would be a great
Okay. This is a good answer in theory. So the only question would be, do the numbers actually support our argument? In theory, that is true. You can make big investments in your population, and sometimes the dollars invested can come back with huge multipliers. A really good example of this is birth control. You get huge multipliers in terms of investing in birth control for poor people that don't have kids, that don't become a burden on the system, et cetera, right?
How you measure the return on investment.
That would be a great question. How do you measure? How do you measure return on investment? Okay, she keeps saying return on investment. Now, if I run a business, I can tell my return on investment because I know how many dollars are going out and how many dollars are coming in. If you're a politician, your return on investment is not in dollars and cents. If you are a politician, your return on investment is how many votes you receive. And so
That's great, but this is just a delusional fantasy, like straw man. She literally was saying that she wasn't talking about how many votes you'll receive. She was literally saying growing the tax base. It sounded like she was saying that by investing a certain dollar amount early on in a person's life or giving them the ability to own a home, you're increasing the amount of tax receipts that you'll receive in the future because you're creating more productive workers that are earning higher amounts of income that now qualify for increased taxation that will make you the money back that you invested in them. That's what she was saying. Now, again, theoretically, that's correct. What she's saying is correct in theory, but now in terms of numbers, I don't know. I mean, like, you would have to run the analysis on that to see if it's actually right. But she's correct in theory.
Is how many votes you receive. And so the easiest public policy ever is to take money that has been earned by someone else and to give it to people who will vote for you for receiving free public benefits. That is the actual return on investment she's talking about.
That's not what she said at all. But we could just like not address what she said at all, I guess.
Don't give this crap about the return on investment is reducing child poverty. Okay, throwing checks at people does not reduce child poverty in any serious way, absent the extreme short term. Because it turns out that if you don't change the trajectory of income earning in a family, cutting somebody a check doesn't actually solve the problem for more than the next 5 minutes. To actually solve long-lasting poverty, you need free enterprise, free markets, entrepreneurship, innovation, job creation. Those are the things you actually need.
You also need like a more educated workforce, though, that is capable of entering into that job market and making sure that children are taken care of. Like, you know how important families are. Like,
but all that exists in the absence of government interventionism. She's never run a business, so she doesn't have to answer in terms of business. She just hijacks business terms like return on investment to mean I pay off my political constituents, and then the return on investment to me is votes.
But that's not what she said.
The reason that this is so galling is because the hatred for wealth creation in the Democratic Party, the true hatred, and it feels like hypocrisy, but it's not. Oh,
there we go. Hatred of wealth. There we go.
Worse than hypocrisy. The hatred for wealth creation in the private sector in the Democratic Party is matched only by the insanity of the fact that all the people who hate private sector wealth creation are perfectly happy to own a lake house like Bernie Sanders, or 3 houses like the Obama family, or to be rich as Croesus like Chuck Schumer. Like, all of these people are loaded. They didn't get loaded by creating things. They got loaded by redistributing money from other people who earned it. They got loaded by seizing control of the levers of distribution. That is how they got rich. And then they turn around and blame the people who actually create the wealth. Understand that that's part of what underlies their hatred for Donald Trump. They hate that Donald Trump was a businessman for decades before he became president of the United States.
Do you think he believes
lies
this?
And the twist of the mainstream.
I don't know. Also, you want to talk about, bro, Donald Trump's background was real estate, which is probably one of the most like tax advantaged industries that you can work in. There are so many different tax advantages and loopholes and everything else that like exist around real estate. So the idea, but whatever. Okay. I'm going to go downstairs and start our shit hopefully soon. Love you. Anything else with Dan in like 10 minutes, ideally. Probably more like 20 minutes, but I'll see you soon.
I've now asked you probably 6 or 7 times in the past 30 minutes to articulate your position. You haven't even given me the beginning of it.
Yeah, because I didn't prepare to come on this live stream and articulate my position.
What's
so.
to prepare? What do you think? What do you think? What's to prepare?
I think you're a dishonest liar. I mean, that's what I think.
Okay, I
think you're
so.
a paid shill by the Democratic Party. I think you are the one that is actually audience captured. I think you are the one that gets a paycheck from Brianna Wu.
Oh,
that's what I think.
Brianna Wu doesn't even work for PV anymore.
I think you are I think you are legitimately right wing. I think you are legitimately right wing, and you are biting your tongue every time you have to shill for the Democratic Party. I don't have any respect for you, Connor. That's what I actually think.
My God.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's good. That's the first honest thing you've said in the past 30 minutes.
Oh.
So why don't you ask me what I think about the upcoming election?
Because I don't care. You're a paid shill. You're audience captured. I don't give a fuck what you think. You think whatever Brianna Wu tells you to think.
Brianna Wu still doesn't work for PV.
Okay.
Okay.
This is why.
Look, I could be wrong.
No, you're.
Or does she have like another company now?
Look, that's just my opinion. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm entitled to my opinion.
Okay, fine. Then I'll go ahead and illuminate you with my perspective because I think that you're wrong, and I'm going to go ahead and show evidence for why I think you're wrong.
Oh my God.
Show us the Brianna Wu paycheck.
Brianna Wu doesn't work for PV.
Oh,
she works for a progressive PAC.
Oh no, he has no idea. Brianna Wu hasn't been working there for months. He's just utterly fucking clueless.
Peacemaker six.
Yes, let's
No,
focus
I
on the
don't
issue.
care about. I don't care about peace. Let's focus on
who does the paycheck from Brianna Wu come from?
Let's
I have
drop
Rebellion
the
PAC?
paycheck.
But Connor, get me in.
About what actually
Am I allowed to join this?
reference to the election. Okay.
I don't care. Look, you're a paid shill.
well,
Why
okay,
do I
well, I'm
why do
gonna
I
tell
care
Six
about
then.
your opinion?
So shut up. Then. You don't care. Mute yourself. Deafen yourself. I don't care. So anyways, the thing is, Trump in 2022 tweeted out the fact that the massive fraudulent election would be enough to suspend the Constitution. That's a deal breaker for me. You can't come back from it. There's no argument that could possibly make him qualified for office. Therefore, I was willing and able to work with Democrats to maybe get somebody else in, maybe a lame duck president. But what's been going on recently is since Biden's dropped down, Kamala actually has a lot of policies that I viciously disagree with. Therefore, what's happening was almost a guaranteed rhino Republican protest vote in for the Democrats. Now, I don't think I can in good conscience click the top of the ticket. So how's that for a paid show
How much
position?
did Brianna Wu pay you to say that? That's what I want to know.
Okay, hold on.
Why would Brianna Wu not want me to vote for a Democrat? What are you talking about?
Look, it looks good when a Republican comes out and endorses the Democratic Party. That's why they pay people to do it.
And my endorsement is not for sale.
Well, how much do you make from Brianna Wu then?
Why is that relevant to the conversation?
Because she pays you out of Rebellion PAC money.
No, she doesn't.
She pays you out of her own pocket?
No, I work for PV, a different organization that she used to work for.
And
Project
what is
Veritas?
PV?
What's that?
Project
What is
Veritas?
PV?
It's
Look,
progressive victory.
I
It's a
don't get
Democrat
any
PAC.
money from Trump. I don't get any money from the Democratic Party. I get super chats from our fans, and I tell them all the time, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. If you don't like it, don't super chat, okay? Look, to call me audience captured is ridiculous when you are literally taking money from the Democratic Party.
Adam,
and I don't
think
care
you're
who it
taking a
filters
W,
through.
But you're such a moron. I've asked you for your opinion 8 times and you can't even articulate the first 30 seconds of it. Do you know how embarrassing that is to be a political commentator who can't comment on your own political opinion?
Oh no.
It has nothing. I mean, to be
Look, that
honest,
is
it has
a
nothing- it has-
mischaracterization.
it
I
has
talk for
nothing
2 hours a day about my political
Oh, but
opinion.
you can't do it in a confrontation.
Connor,
you can't do
Connor,
it where there
okay.
might be pushback.
This
is more of your lies. You're lying
stop.
again.
Let me explain what's going to happen. What's going to happen is as soon as you leave, he's going to explain his opinion. He just doesn't want to explain it to you because he doesn't like what you did.
Yeah, because you're a liar and you're going to go on Destiny's stream and mischaracterize my opinion.
Well, then just talk to
why
me.
am I
No,
even sharing it with
Just
you?
talk to me then. I'm right here.
I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to tell Destiny. That you're a wussy, and when you get confronted, you shut down, and you can't articulate your positions confidently when somebody is being abrasive or aggressive with you. And so I'm telling that to you.
True.
That's not a lie.
Look,
that's my exact perception
That's
of
it.
who you are as a
That's
person.
exactly what Destiny wants to hear while you're sucking his dick, Connor.
Oh my God.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and ask that question. He asked me, which one of his debates has he done lies of commission or omission on? And I said I couldn't think of one. Can you think of one, Adam?
What was that?
Can you think of any debates that that Destiny has done where he lied by commission or omission?
I got no problems with Destiny. Destiny acted like a champ when you were
hold
on there
Hold on.
glazing him.
Hold on. So you're accusing me of lying
threw us
and
out.
glazing him. No, you're accusing me
You
of
threw
lying
us
and
out
glazing
as
him.
like a bone for him, and Destiny, like a professional, just let it go.
Wait, so you're saying that I can't have that professional assessment of you?
That I'm audience captured? Sure, you're entitled to your opinion, obviously.
Okay. So if I come on to you and you say, well, that's not my opinion, you need to watch my content. And then I say, okay, well, how about you go ahead and articulate your position so I can understand you better. And you say, whoa, buddy, you don't get to understand my position. It's too highfalutin for you. You think I'm not going to take that as dodginess and cowardice?
Connor, everybody knows that if you're accusing us of being audience captured, when you have not even listened to our content, that's ridiculous. How can you make that assessment?
See, Adam, you're ignoring a huge part of the conversation where I listened to 5 minutes of you talking specifically about your position. I asked you to confirm that was your position. Clipped out of context.
Okay.
It was you.
Okay,
talking for 5 minutes
no, stop.
straight.
Okay, listen. I'm entering the conversation. I'm kind of really getting really fed up.
Look,
with both sides of this conversation.
Look,
okay,
I'm gonna chill, Sitch.
Okay.
I'm gonna chill.
Yeah,
Just
no. This is what I
now.
want. This is what I want. Okay. What I want two things. Okay. I want Connor. I want you to. And I mean, first of all, I feel like this is a terrible time to have this conversation. But with you doing like doing family stuff. But I want you to say, okay, you acknowledge that, it's probably not a great idea to accuse someone of audience capture or mischaracterize them when you're unclear about their position. And then after you acknowledge that, then I would like Adam
he left.
to.
He dipped out. So sorry. Like just as we're getting serious, we lose him.
Oh, did he leave or did he get disconnected?
I'm not sure, but he's not in the call anymore. So I just thought I'd let you know. You were on a roll, though.
Okay, I was gonna say. Oh wait, no, he's back.
Okay, he's coming back. Okay.
Yeah, I lost you.
Take a note.
Okay. Did you hear? I don't know. Did you hear what I was saying?
I heard this is what you want, or this is what you want us to do.
Okay, so what I want you to do. Okay, I want you to do something. And I want Adam to do something. I want you to acknowledge that it's a mistake and not a good idea to mischaracterize or to guess about someone's position to a large audience when it's unclear to you first, and then after that, I would like Adam to then explain what his current thoughts and feelings are about the election regarding where he feels in terms of voting for Trump or Kamala. Is that both fair? Does everyone agree to this position?
I can do that.
Adam, do you agree to this?
Sure. Look,
okay.
Can I go first and just?
You can go first if you would like to.
No, if I've morally aggressed in a way that you find not good, then
disgusting is a good word for how I find it.
Okay, well, now I am finding you to be pusillanimous.
Jeez, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's not even a word. But okay, go ahead.
Google pusillanimous for me. No, so, anyways, what I'll say is, before I had a conversation with Destiny and said that I believe that Adam was audience captured because he's failing to articulate his perspectives, and I saw a 5-minute clip where he was doing it. I should have verified that and maybe asked a few people, hey, this is my understanding of Adam's position. He won't tell me his position. So how about you go ahead and tell me what you understand most recently?
Okay,
for instance, our mutual friend J-Mac.
He's not going to do it. So I'm glad I didn't go first.
No, I just did. I just used all the caveats, and I said that based off of the situation.
Okay, but Adam, I would
contrition.
Okay, just so ignoring what Connor just said, which was completely not within the faith of what I wanted.
No, I'm keeping the
yes,
look. I'm not gonna. I don't need to answer to that. You asked a serious question, Sitch. Like, will he admit that it's not good to mischaracterize people's positions on a large platform? He didn't really admit that he thinks that. So that's where we're at.
That's fine. But
in a content neutral environment, I would say that's bad.
Okay, that's fine. I would anyway. So Connor, you failed to answer the question. Adam, would you like to answer the question that I asked as well? In terms of where you
I'm an undecided voter at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's mute Connor.
Sorry, there's a lot of background noise, Connor. So just
I'm an undecided. As anyone who listens to the stream will know, I am currently an undecided voter. All I said was I would vote for Trump over Biden because Biden was a corpse I had said the other day that I'm Kamala curious, that I could very easily vote for Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris. Let me pronounce it correctly. Or Donald Trump. I'm still looking at the two candidates. So that's where I am. That's where I've said I am. Like the last few days, we've been covering Democrats, and I mean, I consider myself center left as much as people want to mischaracterize me as right wing. I don't feel like I'm a right winger socially. I don't feel like I'm a right winger economically. I mean, we talk about MMT all the time. We talk about UBI all the time. I'm super interested in Kamala Harris's policies on building more homes. We talk on the live stream all the time about housing and how, we went through the numbers on the live stream just the other day. Kamala said she wanted to build 3 million homes, and we looked up on Zillow. We're short 4.5 million homes. So if I'm going to vote based on policy, I'm going to look at the policy prescriptions of both candidates, and those are my perspective. So
Wow.
Do you feel like you're leaning one way or the other more or so or less, or is it just you're still pretty 50-50?
I don't think we've seen enough of Kamala to really know. I don't like the identity politics stuff. We covered the speeches of the Obamas on stream. I thought Obama was really good because I basically have the moral intuitions of like an early aughts center left Obama civility politics type perspective. I didn't like Michelle Obama's speech because I think she kind of throws that civility politics in the trash and plays identity politics, specifically of the race and gender.
Civility politics, identity politics, not opposite of one each other, but okay.
To the 90s or the early aughts Obama. But it's hard to tell. We haven't seen enough of Kamala Harris to know if she's going to embrace identity politics and go more towards the Michelle Obama or lean back into the Barack Obama and try to win this election with independence. So I guess we'll find out, right?
Yeah, I guess we will. Okay.
Is any of that unclear?
No. I mean, you could. Yeah. Oh, I'm curious. I'll mute Connor now, or I don't know if he muted himself, but.
I guess I have.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that answer your question? Does that feel like
not only does it
answer?
No, not only does it answer my question, but what it does is it also repeats the 5-minute clip that I sent to Adam and asked him about. So that's where for me.
That is such bullshit, Connor. You're such a fucking liar.
Oh,
there's no way.
Hold on. I want to hear Connor's full response.
The zoo has come to town. Thank you for letting us come in here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Okay, yeah. She doesn't want to be on film, guys, so just cut her out of anything. Appreciate that, man. I'm Katie Vance. I'm running for vice president. Good to see you.
Okay.
How long are you working?
I've been here since the beginning of July.
Okay.
Bro, just find a plant or go in and talk to the people first. Why would you try this? Why would you try this not making sure they're actually like okay with you? Oh man, that's awkward. Why would you do this?
Okay, yeah. How about you, sir?
Oh no.
Just everything, yeah. I mean, a lot of glazed here, some.
Zero Riz. No, it's not even about the Riz. They're just, these guys clearly are either Democrats or they just don't like Vance for whatever reason. Why would you try this?
Sprinkle stuff, some of these cinnamon rolls, just whatever makes sense. How long has this place been around?
About 4 years.
About 4 years? Okay. How long have you been here?
A little over 6 months.
Okay, good. The zoo has come to town. Thank you for letting us come in here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There's a longer cut on Hutch. Oh, Jesus.
Non-viable for office for me. As a matter of fact, I heard another clip, which I doubt you'll claim is out of context, where Sitch says, the only way that I'm voting for, the only way I'm voting for Trump is if they appoint like pedophile Satanist alien freaks who sacrifice babies or something like that. Damn. There was a clip to that effect. But the Democrats have not won your vote, right? That's a clip that I heard. Mm-hmm. So I was originally, because I felt like memeing, I was originally going to be rude to Sitch, and I was going to say, the moral choice is obvious. You know, you're choosing between the lesser of two evils. The Democrats are obviously the lesser of two evils. That's what I was going to say maybe 60 days ago. Hold on, I'll be done in a second. But what happened was Kamala opened her mouth and started talking about some policy, and they're policies that I find so egregious that I can't sign up for them.
Okay, so I
we
guess
all could have resolved this without
Right.
the accusations of lying.
Okay, I agree. But there's a couple issues here. Number one, I guess I'm confused because even if you disagree with like, it's weird because you're saying that you kind of disagree with Adam's position about the policy, even though you sort of agree with it because you just said, you thought it was.
Wait, that's actually so funny. Wait, where the fuck is? Sorry, hold on. An actual 8 out of 10 meme from Esports Batman, but it's not going to be 8 out of 10 of you guys. Fuck you. Hold on.
Vote
Sorry.
for or against Trump based on policy. I mean, I don't see how that's remotely audience captured. You just have a disagreement on how to look at the election.
Okay, because I would think that a liberal, somebody who cares about individual freedom and the republic continuing in perpetuity, would be more concerned about the things that I think disqualify Trump.
Right, but like, it's just what you said. So, like, for example, if Kamala Harris comes out, I don't think this is likely, but if she comes out during her speech tonight and starts talking about how like we need to put critical race theory in every school across America or something, right? I mean, would that not influence your position on the election?
No, not only would it, but also on top of that, I would have way more latitude for Adam, where I would say, you guys talk about CRT DEI being the way that leftists infiltrate institutions. Mm-hmm. She's basically talking about exactly what you fear the entire time. Therefore, I don't expect you to vote for it, obviously.
Okay, so doesn't it make sense for Adam to say that he wants to wait to hear more about what the policies are from both candidates?
Hey, what's up? I got a actual decently maybe funny meme from your hated adversary, Esports Batman. Okay.
What did he say?
Here's a question. First question.
Is it a question or a meme?
No, it's a question. So
they said it was a meme.
Well, it's leading to a meme. Okay, chill. Calm the fuck down. Are you okay? You have somewhere to be? Jesus. Okay. You know the absolute immunity that Roberts gives the president, right? Do you think the president could ever waive that? Since it's supposed to protect the office of the president? Or do you think that's going to be like mandatorily stuck on the president?
Well, if it's based out of sovereign immunity can be waived.
Okay.
So I don't think they answered this question. So if the question is like, what is the answer? We don't know because the Supreme Court hasn't told us. Mm-hmm. But if we're kind of basing the absolute immunity as being one kind of grounded in the office and kind of being a kingly type power, which I think is not an implausible thing to ground it in, sovereign immunity can be waived.
Yeah, okay. The only reason I wonder is because I wonder if because I could see Roberts making the argument, well, if the president can waive his absolute immunity, then there would be just as much pressure for him to waive it, which would cause just as much issue as him not waive it, or something stupid. I could see him saying an argument like that.
Oh, it's not a meme. He'll never waive it. They'll make pressure on him to be like, yeah, you can sue me.
Well, no, the meme would be if the documents case in Mar-a-Lago, right?
Heard of it.
If the only way for Donald Trump to prove that he declassified those documents would be to touch on some absolutely immune things, would Trump have to waive his absolute immunity to defend? Yeah, that's an interesting question.
So what you're saying is you can't use it as a sword and a shield.
Or it wouldn't work as a shield. Here it would indict you, right? Because it's like, okay, well, I declassified these. Really show us when. And it's like, okay, well, shit, that's absolutely immune conduct.
That actually is interesting. Could he cite to conversations that he had with his own people in the office of the presidency to help him?
Because that would be insane, right? That you can use it as both. You have like selective immunity. Yeah, like per sentence. Oh, I thought it was
an interesting meme. You know what? That's a really good meme.
It is. I give Esports Batman an 8 out of 10 for that one. Okay, I thought it was funny.
That's an 8 meme. It's a pretty good meme. Esports. What are you doing? You looking at Adam whining?
Yeah. Oh my God. What happened to these guys? How is that? Wait.
I broke them.
Here's what I don't understand. Okay, and I could be wrong because I haven't seen a lot. Okay, Sitch does seem kind of reasonable. Adam seems insane. Is that impression correct or?
I view Sitch as like the mother duck.
Okay.
Know? Where Adam is like the little duckling who went out and he got his little duck bill into something and he walks around and then Sitch has like the big wing over the little duckling and says, "Don't talk to me or my son ever again." Or at least that's the dynamic I had when I called him out and when I fundamentally crushed Adam. And when I say crushed, I tried to bury the hatchet with them and be super apologetic, but they were big douches to me. And so at this point, I don't care. But I basically got Adam to say he would vote for Trump between Trump and Biden. And then I posted all those clips of him saying like, "I'll never vote for Trump. I'll never." And his like circumstances have changed. And now, because Joe Biden is such a black box, we don't know who's in charge, the Illuminati or something. Just to be safe, I need to vote for Trump, is what his claim was. And then Biden is off the ballot. Now, all of a sudden, he's an undecided voter. What happened to everything he said? That dude never vote for Trump. Now he's worrying about like housing policy and shit. It's a total joke.
Real quick, I'm sure you know this when you do debates. Biden didn't drop out of the running because he's like unfit for office, right?
He was pressured.
Well, yeah, kind of, but he dropped because he doesn't think he can win the election, principally, right? Or the Democrats don't think that we can win the next election, right?
Okay. I think he thinks he could. But he knows he can't if the other Democrats don't think he can.
Sure. I just want to be clear on that because a lot of people pivot because because a lot of people go, "Oh, well, he dropped because he's senile. He can't think or whatever." It's like, okay, fine, sure he did. Oh, well, then why is he still in office? That's always like the follow-up question. But he didn't drop because he's like mentally incapable of like doing anything. He dropped because the Democratic Party thought that he probably can't win the next election, right? It is an important distinction. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's absolutely true, and it's what he says in his speech that in order to unify my party. I mean, it's the same thing. That like it's kind of similar to LBJ, even though LBJ like won a primary contest, he dropped out because he didn't win by sufficient amount. And so yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Can I tell you what I think is going on? I think when I asked Adam if he would vote for Trump or Biden, and when Adam said right now I would vote for Trump, I think there was a big cognitive dissonance in his head, and I think he thought that was a mistake to say that because I don't think he really believes it, and I think he's taking out his kind of like closeted energy, Trump energy on me and people like me, like Hutch and now Connor Points, who I just fought with about him not voting for Kamala Harris. And so like imagine just fighting Connor when Connor said like he's maybe not sure about voting for Kamala. I think there's a lot of like hurt feelings and pent up angst and stuff like that. And that's kind of what's informing things. But it wouldn't be so much of a problem if it wasn't just like a huge asshole all the time. But that's my take.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think it is kind of funny that in listening to them talk, because he's saying that like, oh no, like my opinions are my own. Like he goes, we're not audience captured, okay, like you are. We rely on donations from our audience. That's where it's like, wait, bro, hello. Like he's just like saying words that like sound good. And like, wait, do you understand what you just said? Yeah, it was just funny, but okay.
Yeah, he can't really like handle when people push him on stuff. He called me a liar, and I'm like, what did I lie about? And he goes, I don't have to point to a specific thing. You're systemically dishonest. It's like when people say systemically racist. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, these days systemically racist doesn't mean you're actually racist. You just have the systems by which dishonesty happens.
Sure.
I don't have to point to a particular thing. I just like don't know how to handle that shit. They sound like woke lefters. That's what they sound like. And they honestly make me a little bit annoyed because I think that they're kind of funny guys, but this whole arc of being just butthurt every time someone makes fun of them is not doing wonders for them.
Sure, yeah.
Much love.
All right, love you. Be careful. Bye.
Idea.
Okay, my answer is 0.00001% based off of all available information.
Okay, so my characterization of your argument was I correct when I said that the difference between your guys' opinion is that you're saying that you would never vote for Trump or almost never vote for Trump, but based on Harris's policies, you would just not vote for her potentially.
Am I correct in feeling more and more that Trump supporters sound exactly like people in abusive relationships trying to justify why they're still in it and why they're actually still good guys? Maybe a little bit, but like keep in mind that like abandoning the Trump train, that's a really hard proposition because the enemy has been literally everything, right? Like you're literally, it's kind of funny, but it's actually very funny if you think about it. In order to abandon Trump, you kind of have to take the red pill because if you're a Trump fan, you live in the matrix. It's the deep state is everywhere. George Soros is funding everything. The FDA and Fauci are behind all the drugs. Like you have to actually take the red pill and be like, oh, fuck, hold on. The world is real. Things actually happen for somewhat predictable reasons. And it's not all a crazy deep state's conspiracy. And Trump might actually just be a fucking moron. And holy shit, there's actually like, yeah, that's a really, really hard. You're ejecting yourself from an entire reality that's been constructed around you. Yeah, it'd be like pulling somebody out of like the ultra woke, I guess, Marxist Zionist shit, but not Marxist Zionist shit. Jesus, the like the Marxist. What was the other word I was looking for? Postmodern. That's it. The Peterson, the postmodern Marxist, whatever he calls all the college shit. But actually, I'm sorry. I thought about that halfway through saying that. I walked that back in my mind. It's not actually the same thing. It's a lot easier to get out of the far, far left shit because a lot of those people are just the kids. They're no offense, they're retarded college kids, 18 to 22, crazy radicalized college kids because they are. Because who cares? They're kids. You're always radical when you're a kid. You'll grow out of it. It happens. So it's actually a lot easier for them to get out of it. One, because they're a minority. They're way, way, way smaller as a percentage of the population and as a percentage of the party. And two, they're children. They grow up.
Gulf.
Okay.
And the moral gulf comes from Trump's tweet in 2022, in which he said that because of the revealed massive fraud in election, even potentially the Constitution should be suspended.
Right.
Anyone who cares about like republicanism or the rule of law, that should be abhorrent. You're talking about the system of government under which we all exist.
What is this? Okay. Do people still have headphones? Is that a thing still?
Oh, I was checking my email.
Okay, so when Trump says that because of the massive voter fraud, he is willing to suspend the Constitution of the United States of America, is that morally offensive to you?
Yes, of course, obviously.
You're using right now? Do you wear noise canceling headphones in your home? Do people do that?
It's in both camps. Look, I listened to Michelle Obama's speech, and the identity politics drives me crazy.
Okay, so I'm not asking you to vote Democrat. What I'm asking you is to, but
why do so many
Democrats,
people care? Why is it so essential who I vote for? Like it's kind of becoming. It's kind of becoming.
You don't have neighbors? I don't think noise. Oh wait, fuck. This is a topic that's going to trigger the fuck out of me. If you're wearing noise canceling headphones because of things like speaking or other things around you, just get some circumaural closed ear headphones, and that's going to be as good as any noise canceling. No, I'm pretty sure that noise canceling headphones generally excel when you have to filter out a consistent noise. So they're really good for like airplanes. If you have a really loud air conditioner or some hum, I think they're really good. Any kind of noise like that. But for filtering out conversations, I don't think active canceling usually does well there. I think passive canceling, you just have like something that like blocks your ears is usually the best. All these retards are spamming question marks, don't even know how noise canceling works. I'm not going to get baited though. I'm not going to get baited. I'm not getting baited.
Okay, so
I feel good. I made my computer work yesterday. Fuck you.
Well, no, because I'm just
I feel fine.
you keep going, and this happens a lot.
I can't believe that the monitor didn't auto detect. I think I spent 45 minutes because I had to push a button on the monitor to get it to detect an HDMI input. Holy shit.
For words and text to get misinterpreted.
But we got there in the end.
Freaking out on each other.
Even on live streams.
Super angry. And on live streams, yes.
Yes.
Of course. Right. Okay, so
This is like the third one that I found.
it's gas pills.
That's one of the third ones I found before.
Okay.
Oh my God. I feel horrible. Sitch. This is happening,
Okay.
right?
Was that a whole new setup? Yeah, I'm going to do I'm swapping out my streaming PC with this. I will say though, I'm not a fan of the case. Well, I'm about to give you an old man's opinion. I just want a mid-tower case that's like easy to carry around. I don't know why that case is so fucking fat. This is not, hold on. This is not needed for you so you can stick the PSU in the back? Why? Who asked for this? New graphics cards are fucking huge. Yeah, but that's the thing. This case doesn't even give you like a fuck ton of clearance for new GPU. I mean, you'll have enough for sure. But the reason why this case is so fucking bulky is so that you can put your PSU on the side. What's the point? Doesn't your cooler barely fit? Because of what I just told you. Because this is the real case. This is the case. This whole area here, Jesus, what is this, like 30% is just empty space. Just so you could stick a PSU there. Christ. It's about hiding cables, including room for pumps and radiators. Who asked? Who cares? Plus your mom. Plus you're white. Sorry.